So you made it into university. Woo! Well done. I am so proud of you, and you should be so proud of yourself. This is a big step that you're taking. It's not only the beginning of your adulthood, also the beginning of your career, right? So the truth is, no one can ever fully prepare you for your university experience because it is unique and it's different for everyone, right? But what I can do is I can give you advice based on my and my friends' university experiences on how to navigate first year and how to not just navigate but to do well during your first year at university. So stay tuned. I got you with some freshers advice. Hey fresher, my name is Nikki Smith and welcome to my channel. Please like and subscribe if you want more content like this. So in this video I will just share with you some tips and tricks on how to navigate first year at university. This is coming from me as a 2 times VIT graduate. Stay tuned, let's get into it. So the first advice I'm going to give you on how to navigate first year is don't wear your student card around your neck. You look so stupid. I'm joking, guys. Please don't take that advice. That is the advice that I got when I was in first year from my seniors. But I don't think that advice was helpful to me at all. But I don't think that advice is helpful to any first year in any way. Who cares if I'm wearing my student card around my neck? I do, because then I won't lose it. So my advice would actually be keep your things safe. Don't lose your stuff because it just makes your life 10 times harder than it should be. So I would advise you to actually wear your student card around your neck so you don't lose it. If you're at res, keep your keys safe. Make sure that you keep them in a safe place in your bag, the same place, so that you don't forget or whatever. Just keep your items safe. So the next advice I'm going to give you is make the right friends. I can't stress this enough, guys. This is, if you take only one thing away from this video, this should be it. If you don't prioritize making friends whose number one priority in varsity is academics, your life at university will be a roller coaster. So those friends, so which friends am I talking about? I am talking about the kids who raise their hands during lectures and ask questions, the kids who raise their hands during tutorials, the kids who stay after the lecture for a few minutes and ask the lecturer questions when they don't understand something. Those are the kids that you should be befriending, not the screw kids who are just about looking cool. I don't even know if screw is still a thing, but yeah, you shouldn't be befriending people who are just there to look cool, look nice. They don't really pay attention during the lecture, always on their phones while the lecturer is talking. I'm not saying you should avoid those kind of people completely, but I feel like being friends with them will make your university experience harder, a roller coaster, to be honest. Those people who are just chilling on the lawns, smoking happily, and partying and smoking weed. Nothing against weed and happily and whatnot. I'm just saying that if you're gonna make those people your main friends, at least, I'm not saying you should avoid them completely. You can hang out with them, right? But they shouldn't be your main friends. Your main friends should be the people who are always asking questions, who prioritize academics above everything, because community is everything at university. So having the right friends will take you very far. You'll do well just because you have the right friends, right? Because your friends push you to do well. You see how they're doing, how they're succeeding, how they're getting those 80% in their tests and exams. So when those are around you are doing well, you're also pushed to do well. Whereas if your friends are just striving to get like the 50% or a P min, then you'll also just settle for mediocrity, and I don't think that's what you want for yourself. So yes, make the right friends. And that brings me to my next piece of advice, and that is, don't settle for mediocrity. Don't just strive for mediocrity because it's the popular thing to do, right? I know in our days there was a culture of I just want to get 50%. It's fine if I just get 50 something percent. I just want to pass, right? So then you go in with that mindset of, yeah, it's okay if I don't get 50%, if I don't get the 80% that I used to get in high school, the 90, the 100% that I used to get, because you think it's not possible. No, it is very much possible. So you shouldn't go into university with that mindset of, yeah, I'm just gonna aim for mediocrity because that's what everyone does, right? It's impossible to get 100% at university. No, that is very wrong. I got so many distinctions in university, and I wasn't even working at my best, right? So you definitely do have the capability. You're in university, and you should honor those people who would do anything to take your place. You actually got chosen to be in university, so you have the capacity to do just as well, if not even better, than you were doing during your matric or high school years, right? So don't just aim for those 50%. And the truth is, in university, especially if you're doing a difficult course, if you aim for 50%, you'll get 30%, at least in the beginning. That's just the reality of it. So you should aim for 150%, and it is definitely possible. Just work just as hard as you were in high school, if not more, because okay, I know one of our lecturers told us that high school was like kindergarten or creche compared to university, because our South African school system isn't as advanced as it should be. So yeah, that's the reality. You should actually be working harder than you were at I should actually make a video on how to do well academically in university. Yeah, I think that's going to be my next video, how to do well academically in university, specifically focusing on academics. But yeah, don't settle for mediocrity, even if that's the culture that is is around you at university. I feel like I could have been on the dean's list had I not gone in with that mindset of, oh, it's okay just to scrape by, I just want to pass. I'm competing with so many people, so what are the chances that I'm gonna get in the dean's list or the golden key, right? But it's very much possible, trust me. You just need to have the right mindset, right? Because like our former Miss SA Shudufatso always says, the mind is the powerhouse. It starts with the mind. So yes, you can do it. So basically what I'm saying is that you should strive for excellence. Strive for excellence. Don't settle for mediocrity. So the next piece of advice I have for you is, know who you want to be before you go into university, because a lot of things are going to try and influence your character, right? So know the kind of person you want to be while you're at university, so before you go there, right? I don't know if I'm making sense, but university is not just about academics. There's a lot of things that happen. It's a culture shock, right? Let's imagine you're from a small town or a small village like me. When you get there, it's a culture shock. You see all these different kids, from rich kids to poor kids that are from poorer backgrounds than you. You see all these different kinds of people. It's a new city, for example, coming to Wits. From my experience, Wits in Johannesburg, it's the biggest city. It's right in the center of Gauteng, Johannesburg. So there's a lot of different things that happen, and you can end up comparing yourself and trying so hard to fit in and to be liked by all these people, and that can derail you and change you into something that you're not, right? So my advice to you is to know the person you want to be before you go into university, and to stay true to your character. And I know this is hard. You're only 18, you're only 19, you don't fully know yourself. Your mind isn't fully developed. It's only going to develop at age 25. So my advice to you would be, know who you want to be, don't change, because you can get easily influenced. Like, I know people who started doing things that they never imagined they would start doing before they came to university. For example, started taking weed, started doing just smoking happily, weed, drinking, things that their families and themselves never imagined they would do. But it's because of the environment that you're in. There's also a lot of mental strain, because, for example, if you're from a not so well-off family, and then you see these kids driving BMWs to lectures, wearing the coolest kicks, wearing the most expensive clothes, and there you are with your hand-me-down clothes, it can be hard and it can be mentally challenging. Like, why do I have to come from a poor family, God? But I'm just saying. So it's important to know yourself and also know where you're going. Focus on the goal. You are there to work hard. You are there to better your life. You are there to jumpstart your career, right? So focus on that and stick to who you are. So the next advice I have is, it actually kind of ties into the previous one of know who you are. So if you're a Christian or whatever, Muslim, whatever religion that you practice, make sure that you find friends that also have the same beliefs, right? Because that will help you to stay true to your character. That will help you to stick to your morals and the things that keep you grounded and who you really are on the inside. So it's important to find friends that are just like you. So if you're a Christian, I'd advise you to join Christian societies, right? I know there's CAF, JTL, what's the other one? His People, all these different churches that you can join. So it's just up to you to explore and find one that suits your needs. And so it's important to find friends. Like I said, community is everything, and at university you're not an island, right? So you should make friends that whose values align with yours, and that will help you to stick to who you truly are. So yeah, like I said, community is everything, and those people are you might even become friends for life, right? So university is the one place where you can make friends that are going to last you a lifetime. It's different from primary school, high school. There you are way too young to really know the kind of people you gel with. But at university, I know people that I've met at university, at those church clubs, at the church society, that are still my friends to this day. Some I even consider them as family. So yeah, go out there and explore and find people whose values and beliefs align with yours. So my next advice is for Freshers Week. Yay! The fun stuff, right? Make sure you've got medicine on standby in case you get sick for Freshers Week. Be prepared, right? Because you go to all these especially if you're at rest, you do so many things and you spend that whole week you can get sleep deprived. You sleep late, you go to your neighbor raises and have all these different activities that can last up until the middle of the night, right? So my advice is to rest and have medicine on standby for freshers party, right? Yeah, that's pretty much it. So my next piece of advice is to make friends, right? You're not an island. Don't just stay in your room and not speak to anyone or not go anywhere. Have fun. That, like I said, this is the start of your adulthood. You need to learn how to navigate your social life while you're working, while you're studying, right? You're not an island. Don't just stay in your little cocoon. Go out there and explore. But like I said, it's important to find the right friends. So those friends that I mentioned earlier, make sure that maybe during at least one weekend a month, you guys go to like a restaurant nearby, and yeah, just order, go out and just have fun. If you're into clubbing, go clubbing at least once a year, right? Don't just stay in your room and not do anything. This is the beginning of your adulthood, and it's up to you to make experiences, right? And for you to have stories to tell, right? So yeah, I know you're there for university, but have fun while you're doing it. So this is where those screw kids come in handy, right? They're not your main friends, but when you feel like partying, I know it sounds like you're using people, but it's not. They're still your friends, but they're not your main friends. Your main friends are the ones that prioritize academics over everything, right? But also, these screw friends, this is when they come in handy. When you feel like partying, being social, that's when you can hang out with them, say, let's go clubbing. But they should also know that you won't be available to party with them every week, to pull all-nighters clubbing every weekend, right? So yeah. My next advice, and I feel like this is what is quite an important one, is to ask questions. Whether it's in the lecture room, never be shy to raise your hand and ask a question. I know I'm also an introvert, and so it can be hard to get out of your comfort zone and raise your hand and ask questions in front of a lecture hall with 500 students around you. But don't be afraid. Ask questions, because they will come in handy. And if you're shy, like I said, you can just go afterwards, after the lecture, for those few minutes, and also use the consultation time to ask your lecturer questions. But also just around campus, if you don't know something, if you get lost, ask. People are always willing to help at university. That's one thing I realized. So my next advice is that you should know the prerequisite English. You should know the prerequisite modules for second year and third year, right? So when you're in first year, it's important to go through your student handbook so that you know which modules you can't afford to fail. Although, right, we're not aiming for mediocrity, or we're not expecting failure, but just know which modules you should focus more on, right? You should pay the most attention to ensure that you don't end up repeating a year or two, right? Because you don't want that, right? So it's important to make sure that you know which modules are gonna, if you fail them, they're gonna make you have to repeat a year or two. So yeah, that's the advice. Just go through your handbook, and yeah, it's important to know that, because some people don't know. They end up failing, and they're like, oh, so that means I'm gonna have to repeat a year or two, whereas if they knew beforehand, they would have made sure that they do well in that course or that module, and they don't end up having to repeat a year or two at university. So that brings me to my next piece of advice, which is that it's okay to fail, okay? It's not the end of the world. It's okay to fail a test. Let me say that. An exam, not so okay. So because some people tend to go through a mental break. It's okay to fail. And even if you end up having to repeat in a year or two, it's still okay. You are still going to succeed. It's not the end of the world. Don't think it's the end of the world and go through it. It's okay. What's important is that you know why you failed and you try your best to fix that, to prevent you from my next advice is that if you don't have funding, apply for funding during your first year, right? If you don't have a bursary. And what most people don't realize is that you can secure yourself a job while you're in first year, right? Because some bursaries, like the one I had for one of the big banks in South Africa, is that one of the conditions is that after you finish your studies, you go and work for them. So you can literally secure yourself a job while you're still doing your first year of university. And with the big unemployment rate that we have in South Africa, I feel like that's an important thing and a smart thing to do. So keep applying for bursaries, and also ease the burden from your parents, right? And I know it can be very stressful being in university when you know fees are accumulating and you don't have money. So work hard, work to get those bursaries, to get those marks that will make you qualified to get a bursary. So yeah, that is my advice, and that's the last one. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and you gained so much information that is going to help you navigate your first year journey. And I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe and share the video. Please like and share the video with your friends so that they can also know how to navigate university in the best way that they can. Thanks for watching. Bye.